Alright, so this video is just here to show off a small issue that I'm running into. It might not be super important, but it seems weird, and so I want to document it, I guess. So right here, this is the screen that I have for just a very simple point-click kind of puzzle, I guess. It didn't work at all prior to this iteration, but now that I have these ifs and things in place, it does actually work. The variable is paw, because originally it was something else, but repurposing it, that's fine. It only exists in here. None of this is like reliant on any other code, so even though this is meant for like kind of in the middle of what I have written so far, it's not a problem if I just skip straight to it because it doesn't use any other variables. So I'm just going to launch the project here and navigate to it using one of my skips. So I'm at the screen here. I hover things and they read just fine, they unhover just fine. This is as I expect it to be. It says that I need to dampen the base of the pillar in order to lower it. And then this is some water right here, so I'm going to click it. It doesn't clearly do anything here. These numbers are just like all for testing right now. It's not going to be 3 clicks when I actually finish this. But I've clicked it 3 times, and now I'm going to click on the pillar, and the background that I'm using, the image, has the same thing here as like the object itself, but it's gone. Ignore that. That's just the image file. But what is weird is that this one here is unaffected. And if you look at the code, that one is ISBK. It's not under any ifs. It's perfectly fine. And then here with the water, I can hover it and unhover it just fine. This one is under an if. Now that paw is 4, it is this iteration rather than this iteration, just because I wanted it to be null action and I didn't want to bother like figuring out how to write like false equal null or something. I don't know. I just copied it basically straight from the thing because I wanted to make sure that it would work for this test. But it hovers, unhovers just fine. Great. But then for these new assets that I brought in only after paw got to be 4, that these are both new images that weren't in the screen prior, I can hover them, but they don't unhover. Even if I hover over the water, they don't unhover. Nothing else will hover, it's stuck. Except, for some reason, ISBK, it works fine. And then I can unhover that, it works. Same deal with this one here. I can hover it, it won't unhover, but it will hover onto this one. This one is higher up. That is, it's in the code after, so the image is on top of it. I don't know if that order matters. It seems like that might be it, just because that's the order that these are in. But then I don't know why the water is more fine, because I can hover this and unhover it. That's no problem. But if I hover onto this and then onto the water, it doesn't work. But it does work to hover onto that or this. It's just a very weird, inconsistent kind of thing, so it's kind of why I bothered making this video, to kind of, I guess, make this, maybe share it with some people, see if anyone has thoughts. But But then the progression for this that I actually want to go to at this point in the game is to click on this, and then it brings you to the next section, which in this case it doesn't work because I skipped all of the parts where I defined stuff, so these errors are not a problem at all. But yeah, so that is kind of where things are at. But as soon as I get this working, and it kind of already works as it does, it's just not kind of reacting appropriately, then this should be set up that I can use it more generally for a bunch of the other stuff I'm working on in the puzzles too. And so then I'll be open up to like be making some good progress. But that's all for now. And I mistakenly opened OBS before ending this. Whoops.